Good morning. Whoa, look at that hair. Holy shit. Talk about a wild hair day. And I shaved. Good morning. And I'm way early, 8 minutes early this morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. It is Festivus. Airing of the grievances. Going to be a little different this morning regarding my airing of the grievances. I do have one I want to touch on that just kind of snuck up on me. Speaking of snuck up, yes, I snuck up on you. There is a reason why I'm a few minutes early this morning. Happy Monday. Yes, I am early this morning. It's only 6:53 now Central Time. I was up. I set my alarm. I was up early by design, earlier than normal. Well, I always set my alarm for 5:30, but usually I shut it off and sleep till 6 or 6:30. But my alarm went off at 5:30, and by design, Ernie's got a vet appointment this morning at 8, so I've got to be done with Hobby Evolution at 7:40, so I can go upstairs, get him out of bed, and take him to go potty, and then get to the vet. It's going to be a rough day for Ernie. Ernie is getting neutered today. Yes, he is getting snipped today. Not only that, he has a hernia. He's got a little bump on his belly, or near his belly. So we'd actually taken him when we first noticed it like a month ago. We took him into the vet, and they're like, yeah, it's just a hernia. It's okay. He's obviously not in pain. It's not bothering him. It's not going to hurt him. But when we do the neuter, we can also take care of the hernia. And to add even more for poor little Ernie, we were playing yesterday, and he's got one of those like rope toys, and we throw it, and he chases it, and he grabs it, and then he doesn't want to let go with his teeth. And I'm holding it like this, and he yanks, and a tooth came out. So we are hoping it was a baby tooth, because he is still losing baby teeth. In fact, any baby teeth he has left right now will be removed today. So it is just going to be a fucking shitty day for poor Ernie. So, but we're getting it all done at the same time, so he doesn't have to go to the vet 3 different times to have all of this done. He doesn't know it, but he would prefer to have this all done in one day. He's going to be under anesthesia. So he'll be good to go. Well, he's going to be away from his puppy friends for 2 weeks, so he can't go back to doggy daycare for a couple weeks. So it's going to be a rough day for Ernie. And if you're just joining me, yes, I am early this morning, and that's because I've got to get out of here by 7:40 to take Ernie to the vet. He's getting neutered today. He's getting a hernia taken care of, and he's getting his baby teeth removed and making sure to check. And I also think yesterday he swallowed his tooth. My wife and I were both right there, and my wife heard it, and she's like, I heard it like snap. Like, oh, I am not good. Like I could never be a doctor for 2 reasons. Number one, I hate blood, and like that I'm squeamish around like, oh, and number two, I couldn't go through medical school. Are you kidding me? Come on. That's actually probably the number one. I think it's going to be a hat day. My hair is just freaking wild today. I look like this. I look like I don't know what I look fucking ridiculous is what I look like. Where's a hat? Let's get a hat. All right. There we go. That looks better than my wacky ass hair. So Ernie's going to be in for a rough day. What else is going on? It is Festivus. I wasn't going to do a Festivus episode, although I feel like it's now that I have the thumbnail up, I feel okay. Got to do it. I wasn't going to do it until this morning. I was reading a friend's blog, and every year he does, he airs his grievances in blog form, and I read it every year. And I'm reading just a couple of the tidbits, and I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty thankful. So it's almost like an airing of the thankfulness. I don't know. But I do have some grievances. I think I aired a lot of grievances out. Was it Saturday? It was my post office grievance. I've got a lot of problems with them people at the post office. I feel like I air enough grievances on a daily basis that I don't need to like I get it all. You're my therapy, like Johnny M said. Give us all $50. I'm on laying on the couch speaking to you. So I feel like I air grievances every day anyway. So I don't need to have an episode where I just bitch and moan and complain about everything. Although there is one thing that came to mind as I was preparing for today's show that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to mention this because I don't think I've mentioned this. Maybe in passing I have, but I've got to mention this. So it is Festivus, December 23rd. I didn't even realize. I think Cooter brought it up yesterday or the day before. Festivus is tomorrow. It must have been yesterday. So yesterday I did some shipping. It took me like all effing day to sort out the 2024 Bowman draft. I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to ship. Bears game starts at noon. And then I'm going to sort. And then by the second half, I'll have everything sorted and I'll start listing and I'll be done by 3:00. Oh, God, no. I was still sorting after the Bears game ended. Now, I took like some breaks for like lunch, and a friend of mine who I was looking at his dad's collection, he finally came over and picked the cards up. So yeah, it took longer to sort my 2024 Bowman draft, but I did get them all sorted, got them all listed. And those are now available in my eBay store, 99centcards.com. There you go, 99centcards.com. About 2,000 2024 Bowman draft singles are now listed for sale in my store. Buy 7 or more at regular price, and you'll save 25% off at checkout. So go check out the new inventory. It is now 7:00. So if you're just joining and you're probably just logging on and you're like, wow, it's 7:00. Bo's actually on. And then oh shit, he's been on for 8 minutes. So if you're just joining me now at the typically regularly scheduled time, it's going to be a rough day for Ernie. I've got to take him to the vet this morning. He's got an 8 a.m. vet appointment. So he's getting neutered. He's getting his baby teeth checked out and pulled if there's still baby teeth in there. And he's also got a hernia that needs to be removed. So it's going to be a rough Christmas for Ernie. He'll be a little sedated for a few days, though. So that's why I'm early this morning. And happy Festivus. Speaking of airing of the grievances, I feel like I air my grievances every Monday after a Chicago Bears game, and we don't get much rest as Bears fans this week because the Bears turn around and play this Thursday night. So one of the grievances I have that I air, I feel frequently, is streaming. And I love the ability to watch. I mean, I can watch Western Illinois men's basketball play Lindenwood up here in Wisconsin on TV. I mean, a mere 10 years ago, I would have to, find the radio station and hope it was streaming. The local radio station covering the game was streaming the basketball game on the internet. And how far we've come now with ESPN Plus. However, when it comes to NFL, Major League Baseball, it's just a giant pain in the ass, especially baseball. And I'll circle back to football, but baseball, I subscribe to YouTube TV, and YouTube TV does not. I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to get YouTube TV was it had MLB Network, and like 2 months after we subscribed to YouTube TV, they dropped MLB Network, which I very miss so much. But they also dropped the regional sports networks, at least the regional sports network here that carries Milwaukee Brewers games. So when the Cubs and Brewers play, like the only way to watch it is like through, I guess, cable. I'm not getting cable. So I have MLB, the MLB TV, but I'm blacked out. I think I've aired enough grievances about the MLB blackout rules, which are fucking stupid. But I have to go find those stupid pop-up laden pirated streaming sites and watch games via illegal streaming. I'm thankful for illegal streaming because that's how I watched the Bears game yesterday. Now, Bears NFL is a little different. At least there's no blackout rules, right? I don't think there's blackout rules. Maybe there is. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had NFL Sunday ticket. I had it for a few years back. Gosh, 15 years ago. But I don't really care as much. And most games are on. Like, I am in Wisconsin, so I don't get every Bears game. Yesterday was one of those days where they played the fucking Rams and Jets, I think, was the Fox game. Like, New York and LA, and I'm in Wisconsin. Why can't the NFL give you, like, the regional game? That's what I feel like that used to be the case. I feel like growing up, it was like where I grew up, and I guess I was in the Chicago market, even though I was, 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away down in the sticks. I feel like we always got, if it was on Fox, I was in the Bears coverage zone. And then if you were outside of the Bears coverage zone, you get like the closest regional game. And not necessarily now is it like the game of the week. So if you're outside the immediate zone, which I'm outside the Bears zone, obviously, I'm in Packers zone. Then it would go to, now it goes to the national game instead of, fucking Chicago versus Detroit. I'm 2 hours away from Chicago. And I don't know, 6 hours, 8 hours from Detroit. But yet it's Los Angeles versus New York on my TV. That's a grievance I have. But anyway, I could fix that because I'm sure if I had NFL Sunday ticket, I'm not in any blackouts. If there are blackouts, I could watch all the Bears games. So that's a me problem. So that at least I can understand. But it's where you can't, because it's some stupid blackout rules where it's beyond your control. Those are effing stupid. So anyway, Bears game. So there's a grievance that I have. Bears game yesterday. Actually kind of went down the way I was hoping it to go down. Caleb Williams threw for like almost 350 yards passing, couple touchdowns, no interceptions. He is now, he needs to average 284 yards per game passing in the next two games, the last two games of the season, to become the all-time Chicago Bears single season passing yard record holder. Eric Kramer, superstar Eric Kramer, currently holds that record, 3,838 yards, 3830. Excuse me. 3838 is the Bears all-time record. I think Caleb is now, I tweeted it yesterday, I think he's sixth in all-time single-season passing yards in Chicago Bears history. I think Jay Cutler holds Jay Cutler holds 4 of the top 5 seasons, and Eric Kramer is at the top. So Caleb I think he moved all the way from like 11-6 in yesterday's game. It was kind of a log jam right there in the bottom half of the top 10. So it had basically what I wanted, the Bears to lose, but fairly competitively. I mean, the Lions kind of ran all over them, but the Bears put up offense. Caleb put up 333 yards, 4 yards, somewhere in there, passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So there you go. Now, there's a lot that I could grievance about. But all in all, it was kind of the way I wanted to play out. Mark Marinello, I've got a problem with your Jets. Got a problem with your Jets. I needed the Jets to win. I wanted I think the Raiders did win. But it's kind of close. Like I think there's now 3 teams with 4-11 records. So now we're jockeying for draft position. Bears still hold the number 9 overall pick. And there is now 2 other teams tied with them with 4-11 records. And then there's like 4 or 5 teams at 3-12 right now. So, I'm scoreboard watching the Jets, the Browns and Patriots, the Jaguars, Panthers, Raiders. I want the Raiders or the Panthers to lose as well because the Bears hold one of their second round picks. So the higher the Panthers pick, the Bears get their second round pick. So now we're just scoreboard watching for draft position. Bears play this Thursday night, and then they wrap up the season in the last week of the season. So how about that NFC North, though? Skull for Merle. Vikings win again. Lions win again. So I'll be rooting. So my team, I am a staunch Detroit Lions fan in the playoffs. I am definitely rooting for the Lions in the playoffs. When necessary, I'll root for the Vikings. And I'll also root for anybody that is playing the Packers. So NFC North, I'm rooting for you unless you're wearing a yellow and green uniform or whatever the Packer colors are, green and gold, whatever the hell they are. So pretty good football game yesterday from my, how I was viewing it. So yeah, I sorted and did that. Got things listed. What else? I thought there was something else I wanted to touch on from yesterday, but can't remember. I attempted to start kind of cleaning up my card room. My card room is now one of these days I'm gonna air a grievance about spraining my ankle stepping over boxes of cards. I've got just a fucking mess in there that I've got to get organized, and I've got to get it organized soon. But that'll wait for another day. What else is going on? Again, if you're just joining me, I started about 9 minutes early this morning. I've got to take Ernie to the vet. He's got an 8:00 appointment. He's getting snipped. He's getting the old neutering today. He also is getting a hernia taken care of. And to top it all off, any of his remaining baby teeth will be removed today. So it's going to be a rough day for the little guy, Ernie, and his vet appointment. So I've got about 30 minutes, and then I've got to head upstairs and pick Big Ern up and take him over to the vet. So I think that's about what I have. And I want to get into, I only have really one grievance to air. And I wasn't really going to air any grievances because I think I did enough on Saturday bitching about the post office my post office journey on Friday. But I was reading, a friend of mine does a blog. I don't know if Dave Arnold's here. He knows exactly who I'm talking about, my buddy JB. He does an airing of the grievances blog. And I read he just posted one last night. I think it was 8 I thought he'd been doing them longer, but I think he said in the blog it's his 8th blog, 8th or 9th blog, or 8th year maybe. So I always enjoy reading his blog, and it got me thinking, kind of in the opposite direction of grievances. So I'll talk about my thoughts, but I do have one grievance as I prepared for the show where it wasn't really top of mind until I got to it, and it's like, you know what? I've got a lot of problems with this. Scott Hermanson is here. He says sneaking in early, very early for Scott. Very early for Scott. So it would have been like not even 5 a.m. when I started for Scott there on the West Coast. Good morning. Donald, good morning. I'm on vacation for the rest of the year. Hey, can't beat that. Stukes in the house. Good morning. Bill Simus is here. Good morning. Kevin Hawthorne's here from Lakeland, Florida. What's up? Flawed Thinker says, go commies, go. Gary says, poor Ernie. Yeah, he doesn't know it, but he's in for a rough day. David's here. Happy Festivus. Good morning to you. Dave Richards in the house. What's happening? We've got Mark Marinello here. Good morning. I've been in hockey mode since early November. Jets could be playing in Siberia. That's one. Well, there's many sports that I go to that I don't get into, but I don't really watch the NFL or NBA. But hockey is something that hockey's in Serbia as far as I'm concerned. And then NBA, I mean, I kind of keep up. And although now with the NFL having games, having Christmas Day games, now they do. It's not like they never have Christmas Day games. I would imagine they have Christmas Day games at least every 7 years, with Christmas falling on a Sunday. And then I'm sure when Christmas falls on a Thursday, there's a Thursday night game. I feel like they've done Saturday Christmas Day game. Like if there's a game on, or if Christmas is on a Saturday, I feel like there's been like a double header on Christmas Day on Saturday. And then of course, Monday Night Football. So we get a good dose of NFL football on Christmas. But it's not like the NBA typically holds Christmas Day. And, I thought about like, oh yeah, the NBA, I'm going to watch some NBA games on Christmas Day. And it's like, we've got NFL, so I'll watch NFL. Although I don't know who's playing on Christmas Day, and it's on Netflix. So there you go. I feel like Netflix. I feel like most Americans have I feel like Netflix is like the smartphone of streaming platforms. Like Netflix has to be like the streaming platform that most people, like if you have a streaming platform, like you're going to have Netflix. Like, I just feel like Netflix is like, I mean, you look at your cable or like your TV options, like your standard television options, DirecTV is Dish Network. Were they bought? I think they might've been bought by DirecTV. So you get DirecTV, cable, whether it's Comcast, Spectrum, whatever other cable packages there are out there. And then you got your streaming platforms, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Peacock, Paramount, all the other ones. I feel like Netflix has to be, maybe DirecTV has more subscribers than Netflix, maybe YouTube TV, just because those are like the standard channels. But I feel like Netflix, like a lot of people have Netflix. Mark says, I'm in northern New Jersey and I hate having the Jets and Giants games on. Low Roller says you can watch illegal streams, your NFL games like Buff Stream. So I did. I actually did yesterday. When the Bear, normally it's like if the Bears aren't on, I'm like, just fuck it. But I like actually had my afternoon planned around watching the Bears game. So I'm like looking all over and I tried like 3 different. First, I tried NFLwebcast.com, and it worked for like 5 minutes, and then it crashed. So then a friend said Stream East, which is actually one I've used. I feel like it's the ones that I've used. It's been the most reliable, and I don't use them that often. But that's the one that I think I was using for Cubs games when they played the Brewers. So I was using Stream East, and then it like froze like right before halftime. And it like the entire network, Stream East, froze. Like all the games, I guess, were locked. So then I went back to NFL Webcast, and it didn't work. And then I went to another. What was the other one? Might have been Buffs. There was another one that I tried, and it wasn't working. And so I'm like, fuck it. And then finally, I went back to Stream East, and it worked the rest of the game. Cooter says, good morning. Living in Oklahoma, we always get the effing Cowboys. They are the Dodgers of the NFL for me. They're the Dodgers of the NFL for me too. Yeah, I'm not a Cowboys fan. John says football blows. Low Roller says you got auction on Christmas Day. No Christmas Day auctions. If I do, they were just rolled over auctions. Skull Merle. In fact, I don't have. I've got one batch of auctions that end on Thursday. So this Thursday night, and I haven't run any more auctions. It's just, this is such a bad time to run auctions. So I'm really just, I've got one batch. I thought about running some auctions, starting some auctions last night. And I'm like, you know what? This is still, I'm going to wait till after the new year. I'm going to get through Christmas and, we'll fire it back up in January. So I'm not going to run any more auctions outside of what's running. And there might be 150 auctions in my store right now. 99centcards.com. There's a couple straggler auctions. I don't even know when they end. They were basically, if none of my auctions reset, they just end. Where are we at? I want auctions pricing format. I have 142 live auctions right now. So basically, when my auctions end, if they don't sell, they're done. I don't because I don't want to spend another 15 cents. And if it doesn't sell, I've just pissed away 30 cents on an auction that didn't sell. So I'll just spend the 15 cents if it doesn't sell. And then I put it in my eBay store as a buy it now, either $1.75 or $2 free shipping. And I actually get some good traction on those and eventually sell them. But if somebody wins them and doesn't pay, which apparently I had 3 or 4 recently, because more auctions went up. I think there was like a Randy Johnson rookie that didn't get paid for and went back at auction, didn't sell, ended yesterday. And I think there's a few more that didn't get paid for, and they're ending at some point this week. So that's how it rolls. George is here. What's happening, George? Drinking cheap wine and watching cheesy Christmas movies again. Hey, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season. I don't think I watched any Christmas movies yesterday, but we did watch after dinner last night. We did watch Saturday Night Live, and let me tell you, the Weekend Update skit when Colin and Michael exchange jokes, which is always awesome. I don't know if I've ever laughed harder at a skit in my life. I was almost in tears laughing so hard at Weekend Update this past weekend on Saturday Night Live. So if you haven't seen it, try to find the clips. I know there's a lot of clips out there. It was hysterical. Awesome. Funny. Mark says, Jets are the masters of screwing up in reverse. They have the Colts and Bills should be 2 losses. Again, it's the Jets, so they'll probably win one of them. John says, I'm a fraud. George says, I root for mankind. Somebody may as well cut out my nuts too. Don't need them anymore. Honestly, don't even know if they are still functional. Merle says, hang in there, Ernie. We just had Josie get spayed and pulled remaining puppy teeth. There you go. So they're pretty similar in age, kind of on the same track. Mark says, my grievance. I haven't had Mets season tickets in over 20 years. Still getting phone calls and emails about purchasing tickets. Guess they want to cash in on signing Soto. There you go. They are relentless, man. They are relentless. Merle says, George, if you're watching cheesy Christmas movies, you probably don't have your nuts anymore. Not true. I love me some cheesy Christmas movies. George says, pretty sure they have died a slow death, Merle. Christmas on Wednesday is the best possible timing. Shuts down 2 weeks in a row. It is. And I guess it depends on, and I saw this, I don't know if it was a tweet or on Facebook, where it's like, is Wednesday the worst possible day for Christmas to fall on? And it depends on who you are or what your job is. Where it sounds like John is in favor of Christmas on Wednesday. The person that I read on either Twitter or Facebook was like, it sucks. It's the worst. It's the worst day it could fall on. So I think it depends. I've never had, the one, I'll say I've had one real job in my life. And that was when I worked in transportation. And now my position, like it was the weeks before Christmas to New Year's, most of my clients were like shut down. Manufacturing really slows down these last 2 weeks. And a lot of people that work in those industries, like I've got the next 2 weeks off, right? So in my position, it was just like it was in early on the first couple of years that I worked there. I would take vacation. I would cost a lot more for flights. Wife and I were spending more on hotels because that's when people are traveling because they're not working those last 2 weeks. But in radio, it was like it didn't matter when Christmas, like it just didn't matter because I had Christmas Day off, but now there was ideally I preferred Christmas to fall on a Friday because you still get your day off. Now, most jobs, if Christmas falls on a Saturday, you get Friday off. If it falls on a Sunday, you get Monday off. That's how it worked my last job. It worked like that for like half the time I worked there, but then they changed the policy. And so it became a floating holiday. So if Christmas fell like or any of the main holidays that we got off fell on a weekend, we could use that anytime we wanted. And I think we had like up to a year to use it. So if Christmas fell on a Saturday, it's like, well, I'll work Christmas Eve. I don't care. And you know what? I'll use that day for Cubs convention a few weeks later. I'm going to be taking off a Friday in January for Cubs convention. I'll just use my Christmas on a Saturday. That holiday is now January 14th or whatever it would be. And then I don't have to take a day off for the Cubs convention. So that was actually kind of nice. I preferred that over like, hell, I'll work because I always worked Black Friday. But people, could choose. I think did we get that? I think we got that day off. I think we actually did get Black Friday off, but we could also use it as we had to have like X amount of staff in. Like we had to have, at least one sales guy. That's where I was in the sales department. We had to have, 5 or 6 operations, a manager. So you had to have like basically a somewhat fully staffed office. I can't remember if we actually got the day off. I think it was a gimme. It wasn't like a corporate thing. It wasn't more of a office thing locally, where, if you chose to work, you could float that holiday and take it another day. Or you could take Black Friday off and you didn't have to use a vacation day. And I always worked. I don't think I ever took a Black Friday off. I always worked Black Friday because it was like you got off early. Like it's like like by 1 o'clock there was nothing going on. Like okay, it was a desk cleaning day. Where we at? Let's see. John says we get screwed when it falls on a Saturday. WWE Raw is on Netflix next month. Yes, it is. George says Christmas on Wednesday just screws up my side hustle. One student and plans, and I have none. That takes money out of my pocket. Bill Simon says NBA used to be my favorite sport. Now I can't watch it. Steph Curry ruined the league. Now everyone just chucks up threes with no defense. It's kind of like the NBA has turned into the All-Star game. It's like every regular season game is now just like the All-Star game. Just run and gun, popping threes. Love that mock V-neck you're wearing. While we're on the topic, what the fuck is the purpose of a mock V-neck? Is this what they call a mock V-neck? Oh, because it's got like this thing. I didn't realize that's what they called that. Christmas on a Wednesday sucks. It's the only day I get off. Yeah, and so if you're one of those where you only get one day off, it's like you have to go to work Monday and Tuesday. You get Christmas Day off, and then you got to work Thursday and Friday. That would suck. So John loves it. Merle hates it. John says, get a new gig. Johnny M says, good morning. It's negative. Well, John, why don't you get a new gig when it falls on Saturday? See, it works both ways. You should get a new gig when it falls on a Saturday. So don't complain about Christmas on a Saturday. Johnny M says, good morning. It's -1 degree where I am in New York. I hate this shit. Me too. It was like 30 this morning here. We're supposed to get ice, though. We've got a winter weather advisory. But when I took Ernie out this morning, we had nothing. So hopefully we don't get any weather in the next 30 minutes. I got about 10 minutes and I got to run. George says, I work sound on chatterbait every night. John says, I'm guessing LRS doesn't have auto insurance. I'm supposing he parks in handicap spots without a placard. Is it placard? Placard. Like Jean-Luc Picard. Placard. I assume he hasn't paid his PPE loan back either. George says, have to make sure the neighbors don't hear. Got to get the correct levels. John says, end of the auction era coming, it seems. Just until January, and then we'll fire the auctions back up. I've got 142 auctions running right now, taking a break for the next 10 days, and then probably what's January 1st? January 1st is a Wednesday, so I'll probably fire auctions back up Wednesday. Let's see. I don't want any auctions to end the week between Christmas and New Year's outside of what I already have running, just because there's just there's very little activity. Well, there might be activity with people with gift cards, but I'm going to focus on the buy it now for the rest of the 2024. And then January 1st, we'll start listing more auctions. Bo is not moving to fractionals. Low Roller says, I'll be working on Christmas Eve to look for free bonuses on skill games. And John says, the fuck does this mean? Mark says, the only Christmas movies I watch are the ones with Lacey. John says, Christmas on the weekend is like having your birthday on December 25th. Get a new job. Get a new gig. George says, I have a Monday and Wednesday side hustle, so holidays on those days take alcohol funds out of my pocket. That is a bummer. Mark says, I had to go to a wedding on Christmas Eve when my kids were little. Got home in time to put together the Barbie dream house and bicycles. Got about 1 hour of sleep. See, that's what I don't have to deal with that. No kids, no Barbie dream house, no bicycles. No side hustles allowed, says Dan. Reporting you to immigration. Uh-oh. George says, LRS, can I get a bus from Korea? I'm ready to work those skill games with you. John says, I already have a gig where I have Saturdays off. Are you high? George says, report it. I'm too old to give any Fs at this point. Saturday Christmas is a right-wing conspiracy. Mark Hoyle is here. Happy holidays. After today, I've got 10 days off. We always close this week between the holidays, and we post the crew. George says, also, Christmas with you guys is going to be impossible, bro. I would like to meet up, but I have multiple travels over the next couple of weeks. John says, I also have a non-holiday birthday. My gig is solid. No worries, says Dan. Low Roller says you can do a side hustle to look for free bonuses as his new job. There you go. New job, side hustle. George doesn't have wings. I'm a fallen angel. Max says, have to bring a voice of reason back here today. Let you 40, 50, 60 somethings run wild yesterday. One I won't discuss yet because of the man's death. Maybe later this week. 2, Jordan is number 2, sadly. Jordan is the GOAT. Hey, by the way, speaking of, I'm going to air a grievance here real quick. You can sell Ricky Henderson cards. Don't let the white knights tell you it's against, you don't have morals. Sell your goddamn Ricky Henderson cards. I guess I come from a standpoint because I do this as a business. So I probably have a different viewpoint. Because this is a business. I mean, shit, even if it's a side hustle for you, if you sell cards and it's not your business, sell cards. Like, moratoriums are fucking stupid. Like the Facebook groups, oh, you can't sell Ricky Henderson cards for a week. You need a week to grieve. Like, give it time. No, this isn't your grandfather. This isn't your dad. You don't need time to grieve. If you're selling cards in any capacity, you can sell cards. Now, you'll look like a jackass if you list an 89 Donruss Ricky Henderson for $20 or higher. Like, don't do that. But list $1.75, $2, $5 Ricky Henderson cards. It's okay. Stop letting people put you down for that. No Ricky Henderson sales for 7 days. Like, what's enough time? What is enough time? Is a day enough? Is a week enough? Is a month enough? Can we sell dead players? Is it okay to sell Babe Ruth cards yet? Have we reached enough time to let that go by? Sell the goddamn cards. We don't need to have moratoriums on sales. Don't let people make you feel bad for selling Ricky Henderson cards. It's a little in bad form if I went on. Now, it's okay to sell them, but don't like promote that you're like, I wouldn't go on Twitter and be like, hey, I've got 92 Ricky Henderson cards in my store. Shop 99-cent cards. Get your fix of Ricky Henderson cards. That's in poor form. But I could go, I actually thought about looking for my Ricky Henderson. I couldn't find my H box of my stars that I have sorted because I've got a whole bunch of Ricky Henderson cards. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sell these eventually anyway. Why not take advantage of the market? So that's my thought on that. So I think moratoriums on after death is fucking stupid. Sell the cards. I guess you can't sell them in Facebook groups because you'll get in trouble. But you can sell them on eBay. So there you go. That's my airing of the grievance. I think those are freaking stupid. John says, Bo, speed reading. I am, because I've got 7 minutes before I've got to go. Dude on a pace similar to me having sex. Oh, here come the bots. Marcus laughing. Tiger727. Merry Christmas, everyone. Unfortunately, I am working Christmas Eve and day. That blows. Sorry to hear that. George says, John is Clarence Carter. Mark says, John, that was true. Max says, oh, hell yeah, free market. John doubled down. Sold a no-dot Ricky yesterday. How about that? Mark says, nice, George, a Clarence Carter reference. Max says, LeBron is on a different level than Jordan. Don't go there. Come the fuck on. You're on YouTube right now. Go watch any of the early 90s NBA Finals or playoffs, Chicago Bulls, and watch Michael Jordan. And then go watch LeBron James in the NBA Finals or anything. Like, I think the LeBron Jordan debate is fucking stupid. I think there's a lot of dudes my age that have a boner for Michael Jordan, and they get all jealous when people talk about LeBron James. And they feel like anytime somebody talks good about LeBron James, well, Michael Jordan was better. It's like, that's fucking stupid. Like, LeBron James is a great player. Like, I think he's a top 3 player of all time. I'd probably put LeBron number 2 behind Jordan. Wilt, and, my top 5, I'd probably Jordan, LeBron, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kobe Bryant. Probably my top 5 NBA players of all time. I think LeBron James is a distant second to Michael Jordan. And I was on the train. I was on the thought process that LeBron was going to be the GOAT 10 years ago, 15 years ago. During COVID, we had The Last Dance. And then I'm like, you know what? It started bringing back like memories of watching those Bulls teams with Jordan on them. And it's like, I'm going to go to YouTube. And I started watching some of those playoff games, those series in the like 92, 93. Holy shit. Jordan was on another level. I mean, LeBron's on another level from everybody else, and Jordan's on a next tier up. Watching those games, like, that's when I realized, okay, because I was starting to feel like, okay, I think LeBron's going to be the GOAT. No, Jordan's the GOAT. And I don't even think it's close. Like, I think there's a separation there between LeBron and Jordan. Ricky is maybe top 25, though. Anything free market is better than restricted market. Ricky Henderson, top 5 all-time baseball player. George says, Clarence is the man. Speaking of dead players, Steve Garvey's birthday yesterday. Oh, we forgot to sing him happy birthday. Max says, listened to the way home last night and had all I could not to comment, but there would have been no one to read it back. H-Box, G-Spot. Can't find any of them. George says, couldn't find the H-Box or the G-Spot. What is the world coming to? I see what you did there, but run, Ernie, save yourself. You've got 3 minutes, buddy. George says, dang, John, our brains were on the same wavelength, but your fingers were stroking faster. Max says, LeBron would have won more with the same cast on the Bulls. I disagree with that. I think certainly in Miami, the Heat had way better cast. The Miami Heat, LeBron James Miami Heat teams had a much better cast than the Chicago Bulls teams. He had a decent cast in Cleveland, not near the Chicago Bulls. I'll agree there. The Lakers, he had arguably similar or better cast with the Lakers. His Cleveland days were, the Cavaliers squads did not have near as good as the Chicago Bulls. And you can make the argument, well, what did Michael Jordan do pre-1991 or 91? There was 6 years, and you can make that argument. Well, LeBron took, I don't know how many playoff appearances and how many years LeBron has under his belt compared to Jordan. I'd have to look at the numbers, but just in terms of watching Jordan play, I don't even want to Jordan carried that team on his back so many times. Just like LeBron. And I'm not taking anything away from LeBron James. He carried a lot of those teams on his back. John says, same people pushing LeBron also say Maroon 5 is better than Led Zeppelin. Orlando is here. What's happening? Kobe in any all-time NBA list just shows how uneducated people are on basketball. Kobe isn't even top 10, unfortunately. He's had 2x the career. Michael Jordan played defense. That he did. And he was a great defensive player also. Those people clearly don't have a fractional to the stairway to heaven. Red light, good morning. Low roller says LeBron never takes a big shot in big games. He chokes. This is why he's not the GOAT. You see the big lots and party cities are closing. I did. LeBron had plenty of D wards too. Low roller says LeBron James don't take the final shot for flopping. Victor, good morning. LRS continues to be the smartest person in the room. Todd is here. He says Bulls would have won 8 straight if MJ didn't retire. Only player to lead the league in scoring and defensive player of the year in the same year, and did it multiple times. Yes. Yeah. That was right in the thick of things in his career. Here, listen. Here's how simple-minded people are when they lose arguments. The simple minds that lose arguments resort to name-calling. Max loses the argument. He knows, so now he's got to resort to calling us old. All right. Now I've got to go take Ernie to the vet. It's 7:40. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more at regular price. You'll save 25%. And that's right at checkout. That's not just cards, that's items. I've got signed baseballs, magazines, all kinds of bullshit. So check it out, 99centcards.com. Like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow morning. See you then.